Good afternoon, Minkon. Thank you for joining in today's interview. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Deep. I'm very good and doing very well. Thank you for asking. Very good afternoon to you all.
So, Minkon, before we proceed, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Minkon, and I belong to the northeastern part of the country in a city called Guwahati, which is located in Assam. I hold a bachelor degree in information technology and completed the same in the year 2011. Right after 2011, I've started working in the position of MIS until 2019. Meanwhile, I've changed few companies, but until 2018, I realized and I've observed the market like the MIS position is going in a downward trend. Means like there is no such opportunities coming up in the upcoming days or upcoming years. So I researched thoroughly and checked what can suit my best to my profile, because having experience in ERP in custom domain can add some few skills and can add some relevant experience or expertise in my upcoming preparation. So found out like Dynamic 365 can be the best option for me. So uh, after getting all these things, research and all, I got some hands-on training in D365, and finally got the opportunity to work with my present company, which is known as Quest Corp Limited, since 2019. So I'm working in Quest since 2019, and got some multiple opportunities to work in the same platform in terms of support and in terms of implementation also. So apart from my career profile, I love reading books, and I am very much happy to announce you all that in the previous couple of months back, I have published one book, and it is still going in a global market in a very good trend. And this is all about myself and being a sports enthusiast. Sometime I go for a cycling, jogging. So this is all about myself.
Thank you much. Thank you very much. Thank you for explaining your profile.
Thank
So,
you.
Minkon, as you mentioned that since 2019 you have been a part of Deep 365. So, you
Right.
are working as a functional consultant, right?
Correct.
Okay. What all major challenges have you observed, have you faced in any one of your project, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah. So the first major challenges, not in terms of technical, but I must say that we people are facing in this duration of time is like the lack of coordination. Means like when something major projects or major outbreaks comes up, uh, the coordination is a much important thing we must take care of in a very first. So without this coordination, we cannot go ahead. So I have seen like teammates are not properly or well coordinated, because what tasks a manager assigns on, these are all comes under in haphazard condition. So before that, I would like to tell you like we have some process which we follow. That is a methodology in terms means like it will be very specific if I say it's a methodology we are following in agile system. So what they introduced, like we will be having definitely a sprint meet in the very beginning, whatever tasks each and every team member has been assigned with the respective managers, reporting managers. Reporting managers will explain what to do and what not to do, so that we should not face any challenges anymore. So in that case, after the sprint meet, we used to have a daily scrum calls, whatever individual challenges we are facing. Like so, after this scrum calls, after gap of couple of months, you can say, because durations of the projects is quite long and in compared to others. So we used to have a sprint review, so where whatever tasks we have accomplished and what not done, what are the blockages we have faced. So all these things are being discussed in a sprint review. And after the sprint review, we used to have a retrospective session as well, because whoever has done the projects in or the assignments in a proper and very meaningful way, keeping all the protocols in mind, so they used to describe or they used to present us how they have completed the challenges and what are the new things they have learned to present amongst the team member to boost up their morality and to complete the assignment as soon as possible.
Okay. So, since you have been using this tool since a long time, what do you think is a limitation of this tool?
Limitations, as of now, there is no such major thing which I personally have faced, but there might be certain thing which I might be getting, but as of now, I have not faced any such challenges.
No, not this. Okay. Can you explain your previous project that you have worked in? How did the requirement flow in and how the entire development phase continued?
So, first of all, the client which we are working for is a government client. They were having a target of something like 5 years of plan in setting up one skill universities, which can bring up some good amount of skillable resources in the state or in the country. So for that purpose only, they have initiated the project by our honorable CM only in the state. So getting all the things done, when the project works has been accomplished, they found out like they need to have some proper system, not in terms of manpower but in terms of documentation as well. So in that regards, they were looking for some good ERP system, which they acquired the same. And for that purpose, they have also explained us like there were some requirement, means like they need to have a huge purchase requirement to setting up the university. So parallelly, getting into the same, like purchasing the same thing needs to have the same balancing in the financial background only. So for that purpose, this project has been initiated in the year in the same year itself, 2023. So before that, there were some small projects. This is the large projects. First of all,
So
they have got.
what are your roles and responsibilities in your current project?
Fine. Actually, being a senior associates, so I got the responsibility to look after the team, whoever is doing in the support role only. So whoever is getting the tickets, I just need to ensure like all the tickets are being um, cleared up in a interval of time, whichever prioritized ticket has been raised in the system.
So you're just ensuring that your team gets the job done.
Long
Suppose
as if
I cannot give you a team, you will have to work
yes,
as an
definitely.
individual contributor for the project.
That's where my
What will you do?
experience, yes, that's where my experience will come up, because before handling the team, I was working individually in some mini projects also. So in that regards, I know the pros and cons of the systems. So whoever is getting stuck, it's not like that I am not working individually or not, I'm
Tell
not
me
having.
your expertise. It's not very clear right now. Means, why should I be hiring you? What are your expertise as a functional consultant? Which all are the areas or the modules that you think that if you hire me, I can bring this to your plate? So can you
Particularly, yeah,
elaborate on
to
that?
be very specific, I have worked in this legal entity formation, which is an organization administration module. Secondly, general ledger, which is a very huge module in itself. There are lots of dots which we need to connect to complete the setup of general ledger. Somewhere in like accounts payable, where vendors can collaboration needs to be done. Not actually collaboration, like all the vendors needs to be onboarded into the
Any
system.
specific area that you faced a major challenge and where your expertise came into picture, and how did you get that resolved within the organization?
It's a very small thing. It's not a challenge, I can say, but yes, we got stuck in. Personally, I got stuck in that particular module. It's a general ledger module where setting up all the exchange rates. Like while dealing with some foreign, they have just asked like, means like they have just a requirement. Like if we can deal with the foreign things, if we purchase something going in a global market, how this monetary things aspects can be onboarded into the system. So I explained them like we can go ahead with the exchange rate, because the system works in that way only. Because somewhere if you are purchasing in a specific currency like USD, and we are dealing with the Indian currency, so these are the things which we need to take care of, and in the system language we can go ahead with this exchange rate thing. So these are the things which I have faced challenge in my earlier days, like setting up the exchange rate. Like we need to check each and every day how the exchange values are changing. So these are the things at the initial period. We faced a little challenge, but we overcome that by having a minimalistic requirement from the client itself.
Anything particular that you dislike about your current job due to which you are looking for a change?
Dislike is like the project ensurety of the project, because after 5 years, and they have strictly said that like this project is still 5 years. So there is no such other challenges which I might like to welcome in my life. So
So
there
this
might be some.
project gonna last for 5 years, right?
Yes, projects last for 5 years, but actually it's like my personal thing. I'm not getting enough confident enough, like there might be any other projects or not, because the state is itself in a limitation. So
But don't you
I'm
think
looking.
5 years is a long time? Means it ensures stability for you for the next 5 years.
Yeah, probably that can help me, but in terms of longer times, I should not stick to the 5 years. I want to grow. Means like Dynamics itself, on my personal point of view, if I want to share my this point, like until 5 years, it's okay. But after 5 years, what's next? What other?
5 years is a long time, right? Suppose my project duration is just 1 year.
Hmm,
So I think that if 5 years, if it is not suitable for you, then I don't think that it will be a suitable fit for my organization, because I have a project duration whose length is like 1 to 1.5 years max. And 5 years length duration project, if you're getting from the government for,
right.
I think it holds a very strong position in the market.
I understand, but again, this market research comes into play. Like keep on constantly updating myself how the market is going and how each industry is behaving or reacting to all these market trends. So based on that, if your company is having only for a 1 year project, I can check like your company might be having a strong foundation, which I won't be hesitant to spend years long after with your association, because you might be getting different projects. But based on my current scenario, I might be thinking that that profile might not be strong for this company, who can get one more projects, or might be they might be getting, but uh, keeping all the things in balance, I need to check on the both sides of the coin.
Okay. Still, it's not very convincing for me that why you will leave for 5 years stable project for a 1 year unstable one. But anyways, I think I'm done with the round. Pritoshi, you can take over for the technical round. Yeah.
Yudip. Hi, Mincon.
Hi, Pridoshi.
So Mincon, in the first round, you have mentioned that you're working in support, but is there any particular module which you are expert in, or any particular module which you have worked?
You can say like it's a general ledger, which is very much because in the initial phase, we need to set up all these mandatory things to work on. So most of the time I have spent with is a general ledger and legal entity creation. Obviously, it's not a module, but few things, small things which I've worked on. But I can admit like general ledger is the most I have worked on.
Okay, you have only worked on one module, that is general ledger, no other modules?
No, I have spent much of my time in general ledger rather than other, I can say accounts payable and it's a very small amount of time I have worked with a fixed asset, but I have not got the opportunity because they have not such a huge requirement at this, because they are going phase wise. So they just want to ensure like each and everything should come into proper play, first of all, with all the initial modules.
So you are saying you have only worked on general ledger module and accounts payable module, right?
Right. And to some
Okay.
extent accounts receivable, because simultaneously vendors and customers needs to be carry out accordingly.
Okay, and how many years of experience you said you have in Dynamics?
Since 2019.
Okay, so almost 4 years.
Yes.
All right. And this is the only project that you have worked, the government project that you mentioned?
Right.
Okay. Okay, so what took you 4 years for completion of the project? Like what exactly you are working in this project? Is it like only support project you have got, or were also a part of implementation?
Yeah, there was a separate implementation team. So I got the opportunity based on my performance to be a part of the implementation team, where I have told you like I got a general ledger module to work specifically on that particular setup.
And what is taking 5 years time for this project? I'm like, what setups you are doing that it is taking 5 years?
Basically, I am not first of all officially associated with the implementation team. It was just an unofficial representation with the implementation team. I was a part of the implementation actually. So basically 5 years, it's a government-based project, and governments work in that way only because there is no such fixed lineup or protocols. You can say like they have proper things. They have just implemented the projects, and okay, you just carry out the setup and do report us what are the setups you have completed and how the things are getting carrying out. So after the implementation, all the testing phases, so it is taking time, and the team is also very new. So in that case, it is taking a little bit of time for that reason only.
Are you setting it up for Indian legal entity or how is it?
Yeah, it's a completely Indian legal entity. Since it's based out of Assam only, and the Assam government has initiated this project, and they have newly introduced this D365 into that. It's the first organization in government, you can say, like they have implemented this ERP.
Okay, so okay, let me ask you a few questions to check your technical ability. So first is you said you have done legal entity setups and you've also worked in accounts payable module. Can you please tell me uh, what is the use of dimension set?
Dimension sets, okay, it is basically we used to gather or group all the dimensions based on our requirement to generate a particular report. Like based on our report, like how we need our report to be presented before the uh, stakeholders or somewhere, like, so based on that we are creating a dimension sets, and these dimension sets are being reflected in the report only. So basically, in short, I can say it's used to generate the report only to have a proper glimpse.
What report you generate with this? What kind of report?
The financial transactions, whichever we have done, like based on the dimensions, like, or the product category or whatever we have, like based on this, say you can particular XYZ product on which cost center or on which city this has been procured for proper utilization of the in the projects. So based on that, we need to check all the details in the report. Basically the transactions whichever has been credited or debited, if in case.
Okay. So technically you are saying that any transaction related to those particular dimension, you are able to generate the report, correct?
It's actually not dependable thing, but the report can be the report will be more specific if we use such dimension sets. We can have a means like much more proper glimpse of that particular transactions, like how we have spent it or how we have procured it.
Where do you generate that report?
The trial balance only.
Okay. Um, okay. Now, can you please tell me what is P2P cycle?
Yes, it's a procure to pay cycle, means like when we used to purchase any orders, this cycle needs to be carried out. So in that case, for in the very first step, we need to create a purchase requisition. Then we need to create a purchase order. After purchase order, we need to generate the product receipt, followed by invoice.
Sorry for cutting in between. Purchase requisition is supposed to be created by you?
No, it will be created by sales and marketing team. Means when the quotation will arrive in that case.
So it is done by you as a consultant?
I will start, means like me as a consultant, I will check from the purchase order only. But before purchase order, the sales requisition, means purchase requisition should be in hand, so that we can create the purchase order from that particular requisition if the purchase requisition is confirmed.
Okay.
So after product received, then we can generate the invoice. Having this invoice number, also we can use the other term as GRN number. And after invoice, invoice is posted
Where do you use the GRN number?
in the product receipt section.
Okay.
So followed by invoice. So in invoice, we need to perform again two things, like two-way or three-way match. So after this matching, we need to update the match order status. And then finally, we need to post the invoice. And after posting the invoice, we need to pay the required amount through this journal entry, invoice journal entry.
So you said you two-way, three-way matching. So can you please explain me three-way matching?
Three-way matching is like matching the purchase order with the invoice and the product receipt to check each and every quantity or amount is okay or not. It's matching or not, basically.
Okay. All right. Do you know the journal entry posted for during the purchase order? What are the journal entries that are posted?
During journal entries posted
During purchase order period, like when you're doing the purchase order process, what are the journal entries that are posted?
one is invoice gets posted,
Mhm.
and
So what is the journal entry that is posted? Like
vendor
invoice.
payable.
Can you please give me the journal entries which are posted? And
Journal
what state, what journal entry are posted?
means question is not clear. I'm sorry for that.
So, okay, my first question is there any financial transaction which get posted during the purchase order period? When you're performing the purchase order, in what phase you have financial transaction posting?
It's in while means like when posting the invoice, the financial transaction gets posted.
Only during the invoice?
There is one actually. It just slipped out of my mind. I'm sure like invoice was the first thing that get posted, and the other, I'm extremely sorry, it just slipped out of my mind.
So when you are saying financial transaction is posted, so definitely a journal entry has to be posted. So are you aware what is the journal entry that is posted?
It's the sure, but definitely yes. Just slip out of my mind. Cannot.
Do you know what is vendor aging period?
Vendor aging period, yes, definitely. Like sometimes when we purchase XYZ material from any particular vendor, so we get a certain time gap between the in between purchasing date and the due date. So this aging period will define how much we are left behind with the number of days the payment should be getting paid in that order. Means like it's the age, it's in a decreasing order, like from this very starting days only, this age will get decrease up to a certain point where the deadline will be defined, like we need to pay into that certain period. So for that particular purpose we generate vendor aging report, so that we should keep an eye like when from where and when we need to settle the transaction for the same.
What is ledger calendar?
Ledger calendar is nothing but a calendar where we can close, where all the periods will be defined against all the legal entities. So whichever period we want to close against any particular legal entity, we can use the ledger calendar.
Did you work on account structure?
Yes, a little bit. I got the opportunity to work with the account structure.
Can you please tell me what is advanced rule?
Advanced role. So, okay. First of all, before defining this account structure, I need to share one little information. Like we need to have a certain number of accounts where all the transactions will be posted based on the accounts category. Like we will be having expense, income, assets, and liability. So, according to that, when we will be defining the account structure, like on which accounts, what are the dimensions or dimension sets we will be incorporating with that. So we will be having certain challenges like between this range of accounts. If we are having a requirement to add one more dimensions to that particular range of accounts or on a single account, so on that purpose we cannot go and directly add those dimension sets through regular account structure process. We need to use the advanced rule structure for that particular phase. So based on our criteria, if it is a range, we can define the range in advanced rule and allocate that particular dimension sets, whichever is required. And if it is a single one, so we can go ahead with the direct.
I'll pause my interview here. I'll go ahead with the feedback session.